Hello, my soul brothers and soul sisters. I am Ron Smith, and this is the Dr. Ron Smith Investigating Show, where we separate the real from fake, the fact from fiction, and give you the winner's edge. And sometimes we're able to turn your war into wine. Today's quote is: "You never change your life until you change things you do daily." That is just like trying to hit the home run every time you get up at bat. The base hit would make you more successful would mean that basically you take your time to get on base first, second, and third, and then you get them home. So the whole idea of this show is the talk, and I called it the conversation I wish I had, a number of years ago. Today we're going to talk about POA, which is the power of attorney. Now, most people think that when you are with your aging parents, that you need a power of attorney, but we're going to talk about that also. But I want to talk about a power of attorney for your children going off to college, because it is college season right now, and the football players are practicing, the bands are practicing, people are moving into their campuses or moving into their apartments. Everybody's buying linen, toiletries, books, computers, and all those things. But just before your son or daughter hit that college campus, make sure they sign a power of attorney. Now, you might want to ask, what is a power of attorney? A power of attorney is a legal document that gives you as a parent or a adult immediate authority to act on that other person's behalf. It could be medically or financially. Now, the reason why you need that power of attorney, when your child turned 18 years old, legally, the law says that individual is an adult. Now, we understand that, I know when I was 18, I did thought I knew everything, but I didn't. So I needed that support network in place. So basically, somebody can help me make those decisions. Now, regardless of you paying tuition financially, and basically they're still on your health plan, doesn't negate that they still have a right to privacy. And one of the things that you give you a quick example. If your son had drive a motorcycle and he has an accident away from home while he's on campus, and basically, ER, medics come, treat him, bring him to the hospital. You get the phone call, you call the hospital, and trying to get more information. The first thing they're going to ask you, do you have a power of attorney? Well, actually, that's the second thing. First thing they're going to ask, how old is your son or daughter? And then the next thing they're going to ask you, do you have a power of attorney? Now, if you don't have a power of attorney, they're not going to talk to you. And that's one of the things that will be emotional stress for you. And I know it'll be emotionally stress for me also. So when do you need a power of attorney? That's a good question. And two major reasons that I mentioned already: because of healthcare and financial issues. Now, normally a power of attorney is given when a person is incapacitated and you make the decisions on that person's behalf. But one of the things as a parent, in order to actually intercede for your son or daughter, you need to be able to do that immediately. Now, due to the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is HIPAA, you need that power of attorney. It's the clause that basically, restrict them for and protect their financial in this case, healthcare information. And with that power of attorney, you can be able to transfer those medical files to your own private doctor that's at home, and also you can request X-rays. So your doctor can be also a part of that medical healthcare situation with your son or daughter, which is so important. Next, financially, this thing is very important because your teen, 18, 19, 20, 21, will, you will be able to act regarding student loans, any investment accounts. And basically, you can do those things without the teen being present. Without the power of attorney, that teen has to be present. With the power of attorney, you have access to the student bank account. You can pay and receive those tuition bills. And basically, most importantly, I know freshman year, both my son and daughter lived on campus. So basically, they were housed on the university system. Their sophomore, until they graduated, they wanted to live off campus, which means that basically they had to sign another contract with a landlord in order to actually legally intervene on their behalf, because we have met some unscrupulous landlords that we really was trying to, rip our kids off. So basically, we were able to intervene on their behalf because we had the power of attorney. If we didn't, basically, they wouldn't want to talk to us, or they shun us off. Also, you need the power of attorney to resolve any cable company issues as well as credit card issues. Now, one of the things that I would say the law or the government put in process for protection is what they call the Family Education Rights Privacy Act, which is FERPA. And that is a release. And this is most important because you can, with that form, you can get access to your team's or education records. One of the things that I have personally experienced is that you can ask your son and daughter how they're doing in school, but their grades and transcripts go directly to them. And if you don't have a power of attorney, you will pretty much be at the mercy of them being able to let you know how they're doing in school. Now, I know you wouldn't have that problem, but for that not to be a concern of yours, make sure you have that Family Education Rights Privacy Act release form. So what this form does gives you the access to the grades, and actually any financial bills that you may have to intervene in, or records. And this form gives you the ability to be able to actually talk to the counselor and the instructors. And one of the things that we have experienced is sometimes these professors doesn't treat your son or daughter as an adult, or speak to them in a condescending type way. And hopefully and prayerfully, you'll never experience that, but it does happen on college campuses. So basically, you need to be able to have that power of attorney as well as the Family Education Rights Privacy Release Form. How do you get a power of attorney? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. You can get that from, you can get an attorney to draw one up from you. Now, I'm a little bit savvy than that because, anytime you talk about an attorney, the cash register rings off in my head. Just as you can do a will on your own, you can do a power of attorney on your own. Now, there are many samples that's online that has the same verbiage that you would get from an attorney, because the attorney really is going to have his paralegal write it up anyway, and it's pretty much a fill in the blank form that he's going to charge you $100 plus dollars to create something that you can do on your own. But here's the caveat: what you want to do if you do forego going to an attorney, make sure you go before a notary and sign it before in front of a notary, so they can actually process it that way. That is one of my hacks for even doing a will or doing a power of attorney. You actually do it yourself. Now, going back to the university, some university, since they really don't want parents to, they really don't want to talk to you. I'll just be candid and be honest and straightforward, because they live in this bubble world and they want to be in total control. So once you have your power of attorney given to the counselors or the dean of that department, you need to make sure that what is the requirement. Some require that you do it per semester, which means that the onus is on you, because if there's a lap in time, that means that basically you don't have that power of attorney still in force. And some may do it annually, but you need to make sure you talk to that university point of contact to make sure that you are within whatever stipulation they have. Now, I know that's probably a whole lot that you probably never thought about, but since I have actually personally experienced, you need to have a power of attorney for your college age children. It doesn't matter that they're still on you're paying for their health insurance on your program that you might have worked or what you have set up. And it doesn't matter if you're paying for the tuition. Once they turn 18, they're considered adult by the law. So you need that. Second, aging parents. There are two forms that I want to talk about. One is the advance directive, and one is the medical power of attorney, and then there are actually three, a living will. Now, the advance directory is a legal document that will allow you to make medical decisions if you are incapacitated. We're going to take a quick break right now, and then we're going to talk about the aging parents and the power of attorney that you would need since you are a part of the sandwich generation. Let's take a break right now. My soul brothers and soul sisters, today we are going to continue our conversation about the talk, the conversation that I wish I had. And today we're talking about the power of attorney. Now, I know many of you are in that generation, and I don't know if you X, Y, Z or whatever, but what I'm going to classify you as, if you're between 40 and 45 and you're between 45 and 65, you are in that sandwich generation. And what I mean by that, basically, you either have some one of your children are entering college, and you also have aging parents, which means your parents are in the 65 and above category, and your baby is they turn 18 and ready to leave the nest. So you need a power of attorney for both of those situations. And the first half of this show, which is episode 18, we talk about what you need medically and financially for your 18-year-old baby, and the reason why you need that. And now we're going to talk a little bit about your aging parents. One of the things that I know for sure, this is a very difficult conversation to really broker. And from my experience, I know everybody cannot talk to their parents about, you know, finances. So one of your siblings, or if you're not, if you're only child, then you are the one, tag you or it. But if there should be one of your siblings who know enough about finance and have experienced enough about life that the parents would be able to trust them and to follow their direction. And the best case scenario, if you can't think of a person because of the emotional attachment to, whether you're the youngest or the oldest, you might want to have a third party to intervene, someone who who is business savvy enough to be able to navigate your parents to the point where they're gonna talk to you about their finance. I know in episode 17 we talk about actually getting to the nitty gritty of talking about to your parents. But today we're going to talk about three things. One is the advanced directive. Number two, a medical POA, power of attorney, and the next is the living will. The advanced directive is basically a document that allows you to make the medical wishes known. That means basically, let's say, if I get to a place where I'm totally incapacitated, I don't want to be resuscitated, which means that basically, once certain organs in my body, excuse me, deteriorates, I will basically don't want to be resuscitated. The next is basically the medical POA is just like a power of attorney that I will allow someone else to make those medical decisions for me. The next is making that living will. Well, basically, you telling your family and the medical professionals what you want done in regards to basically if you don't want to be resuscitated or not, which is a DNR. And that is a very emotional I guess situation. I had to personally have to make that decision. And one of the things that you would like your siblings involvement in that decision, but ultimately it can't be from one person to actually do that. Now, one of the things that I know for sure, and as we talk to our parents or talk to our loved ones who are aging, is that, and they did a survey, and I think it was AARP said 92% of aging parents expect one of their children to take care of them or provide for them if they're incapacitated or can't make those decisions for themselves. Now, the second part of that survey said only 27% of the children was aware that their parents wanted them to take care of them. That's the reason why we need to have this discussion. And you can't delay this discussion, which means that basically it has to be done. One of the things that I know for sure, and when we talk about aging parents, they are, some people was astute enough to to have a pension. They did their work over 20 or 30 or 40 years. They have a pension as well as Social Security. And they might have some other investments that they will receive an annuity. For those who are on Social Security or Medicare, unless you're on a different part, Medicare would take care of the bulk of the bills. But I want to share with you what is not included in there, and you need to know. Long-term care is not included in that. Routine dental care is not included in that. Hearing aids are not included in that, and routine vision is not included in that. You have to pay a separate, I think it's either Medicaid B or C, which is an additional payment. So those are the things that you need to talk about with your parents to the point where you have to sit down and really strategize how you want to do that. And one of the things that I know for sure is that it might be necessary for a third party to talk about, let's say, the power of attorney in general. So basically, they won't feel that basically they've been, ambushed or blindsided by what you're asking. So one of the things that we need to talk about also with aging parents is, do they have the will in place, and has the will been updated? And those are the things that you need to kind of, well, I wouldn't say kind of talk about. You need to have that full discussion. And if they do not have a will, then basically, like I said, you can go to an attorney, or quote, you can have sample wills online. And as I stated, I think in episode 16, Aretha Franklin had 2 handwritten wills that was later found in between the pillows on the sofa. And basically, if you can go online and see it, it was really handwritten, and with a line scratched out with some of the people that basically she scratched out on it. So most people think that you have to have a professional done will with typing and all this other fancy paper and et cetera, et cetera. No, it just have to have the same verbiage and be of sound mind, et cetera, et cetera. So you can get those sample wills online. And you need to know where the bank accounts are. I will strongly suggest that basically you need to be on the signature card on one of those, of someone in siblings be on the signature cards. So in case a person is incapacitated, the bills and the debts will not be piled up, and you will have no knowledge of. And speaking of that, that is something else that you need to discuss with your aging parent. What are the outstanding bills and what are the outstanding debts? And if you need to, you could help them with the budget. What are the cash coming in, and the cash going out, and what are the outstanding bills, and if they have a mortgage or not. And those are some of the things that you need to make sure that you are privy to. And where are the insurance? If there are insurance papers, where are they located? And you can talk about the plan is to make sure all those things are centrally located in the event that basically they become, incapacitated to actually tell you where those things are. So just to wrap up what we were saying today is that for your student that's going off to college, they have to have, you need a power of attorney. The power of attorney will give you access to their medical information as well as their financial information. You need to make sure that basically, in order for you to be a part of that process, legally, when they turn 18, they are considered an adult, which means basically their privacy cannot be interfered unless you have the power of attorney. HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability Accountability Act, prohibits them from providing healthcare information to outside parties. In order for you to be a part of that decision, you need to have a power of attorney, and you need to be able to do that to transfer files and answer requests for copies of X-rays. Financially, therefore, you need the power of attorney to access bank accounts, investment accounts, to deal with landlords, to deal with creditors and credit cards, and to if they move off campus, they're going to have cable. Then you can actually deal with the cable companies also. Under the Family Education Rights Privacy Act, you need to be able to have that release form. So basically, you can get have access to the grades and anything related to the financial bills and records, that basically, and be able to speak to their college professors and counselors. And those are the things that you need to have in place once your student leave your home and start living on campus. Okay, next, the aging parents. Basically, we talked about advance directive. We talked about medical power of attorney. We talked about living will, and we talked about having those things in place in a central location that you are aware of it. Now, also, I want to add that basically, besides being on the account, you need to have the let's say the cell phone PIN numbers in order for you to be able to contact some of the people that you want to contact, just in case you want to keep them abreast of their friends, quote unquote, that you might not be, the day-to-day in contact with. So if anything happened to them, you can share that information with them. So with all that said, is that you have to start the plan. I know it can be very emotional, especially when you talk about money, and especially when you're talking about aging parents, because if their health are failing them, that is a stressful crisis situation within itself. And then when you talk about somebody will, sometimes that means that maybe, are you trying to push them out of the way? You have to be sensitive to those things too, that this is a very emotional thing. So make sure you plan this discussion when there is no other distraction, and include your siblings if basically they don't bring drama to the situation too. Because sometimes you can, some of the siblings, they bring more drama to, and the whole situation would blow up disproportionately. You know who your parents are. You know who can actually talk with them about sensitive information. And it has to be done either now or later. So with that in mind, thank you for your time. Get that power of attorney for your kids and in your aging parents. Until next time. Thank you.